Alright, for everybody in the Roman Legion who has asked me about how I solder my LEDs for the underglow kits, this is a really short demo of how to do it. Some people had asked, it's easier to show you than explain through a text message. So, you've got 4 connections you gotta make. You got 12 volt positive, which is this first one right here. You have GRB. Those will correspond to these wires. I recommend buying the RGB wiring harness stuff off Amazon. It just makes life easier because it's 4 wires that are color coded. Makes doing the wiring so much easier. The other thing I recommend buying is the male and female version of these things. They're quick clips, so there's a female version that I don't have on my workbench right now. This clips into. You can find them on Amazon for, I think they're 10 bucks. I highly recommend these. So as you create your wiring harness and your runs, whenever you have to go from like the front bumper to a side skirt, you can put this on one end and you can plug them into each other. It makes servicing it much easier. So then you have 4 zones that you can service independently. Highly recommend it. I didn't do it the first couple times, and it made replacing things a massive pain. So I'd buy them, they're worth the money. Next thing, heat shrink. This is 3/8 I believe, and it's adhesive lined. Gonna put that on first. That's gonna help weatherproof everything. You can find it in marine stores. You can find it on Amazon just by looking for adhesive lined heat shrink. Super cheap. Alright, so we're gonna get started soldering. I've got the $30 solder gun from Harbor Freight. I recommend that one. The $20 soldering iron from Home Depot will not do this very well for some odd reason. I have the heat settings on this thing cranked up all the way, so I just don't want to mess around. Oops. The other thing is some rosin, or flux. This cleans off the terminals and makes life much easier. I just have a big tin of it, smear it on there, and I did a demo with this earlier, which is why there's solder on there. Normally these are much cleaner. Put that on there. Now we're ready to begin. So I take my first wire, which is going to be my black one. You want to make these leads as short as possible. It makes it easier to control the wire. So I'm putting this on 12 volt positive. Now one of the things is having a third hand makes this a lot easier, or a weight. I have a piece of steel bar off camera that's holding the strip of these. And then you kind of got to figure out how you're going to hold the rest of it if you need to. So I'm going to use my finger. This is not normally how I'd solder, but I want you guys to be able to see it. Okay, I've got solder on the tip of my soldering iron, and then I'm just going to press down onto the terminal and the pad, and boom, that's all it takes. That's a solid electrical connection. That's not going anywhere. You will tear the LED strip before you dislodge that thing. So looking at my color code here, it's printed on the circuit board. I can see a G, that means green. So I'm going to take my green wire, I'm going to press it down. Be mindful of not crossing these. It just makes things a little weird. They can be close but not touching. Now my next one is going to be R for red. I'm going to put that on there, and I'm just going to solder it. And I've already done these once, so there's still residual solder, but the principle's the same. And then blue, that's my last one, and it's going to go down here. I will say this takes some practice, and having the $30 soldering iron really is the way to go. That's all you need. If you're going to be doing electrical work, it's the one to get. It makes life so much easier, and then you know your connections are solid. I'm not a huge fan of butt connectors. I've had them pull out. No puns intended. Alright, so see, that's soldered. It's not going anywhere. I do not have a 12 volt battery out here, but I'm gonna go get one. Hold on.